Oh, who is that? Who is the one that? Let's get going. We're down to county buildings. Everybody ready? Hey. All right, county buildings stands at 636, 539. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Keel, second by Frazier. Any discussion?
I applaud them for finding a few $1,000.
Yeah, should write it down. All right, Isaiah, whenever you're ready. No,
TCRS coming for 6,000, but they still got that 11. So.
All right, general fund and county buildings, motion by Hill, second by Frazier. Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Aye. Isaiah Grindstaff. Aye. Ross Garland.
Aye.
Travis Hill. Aye. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
8 ayes.
motion carries. There. Yes, sir.
If you get up here, where I hear you.
You better come on up.
I just want to, look, aside, we got lights up at jailhouse, and they're gonna start paving, Monday morning at the, parking lot up at Northeast State.
Oh, yeah, that's
So,
right.
I
That
thought,
will be, right, that'll be our guys up there, right?
our guys doing that, plus the lights are up. I haven't even got to see how bright they are, but they're supposed to be
Yeah,
really
you've
good.
probably seen.
I just wanted to bring it up.
All right, good, thank you. Other facilities is next on there. 258,066.
This is the Workforce Development Center. And this budget is fully funded with police revenue.
Motion to approve. Second.
So that's got bonus, no, that's a zero, maintenance person, that's what I see, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, sorry, who's that, Frazier, second by Woodley? All right. Any discussion on that?
Couple of line items that look like they went up from the amended budget for 1920. Is that just because it was short year versus long year
Some of it's because we have no historical
data?
data.
Okay. So can we assume this is going to be the baseline for them going forward?
It's still a work in progress.
Okay.
Next year, probably give us a better guess.
All right, yeah, whenever you're ready, you go.
All right, workforce development, motion by Frazier, second by Willie Campbell. Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Aye. Isaiah Grindstaff. Aye. Ross Garland.
Aye.
Travis Hill. Aye. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Motion carries. Accounting and budgeting. Next department.
Questions on that one?
Number 488, 08.
Which one are we on? Oh, counting budget.
It's page 34 on it.
Yeah, we skipped 33. I was confused.
What was it?
Maintenance of records.
There's no budget for this.
Oh, okay. Say there. assessor. Back on.
I just want that earlier, I think we were register deed, yeah.
Basically, the only increase is your mandated raise tied to the trustee and then the new employee, right?
Right.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Hill, second by Mr. Tester. Any discussion on that? I say if you'll call the roll whenever you're ready.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Martin Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff. Aye. Ross Garland.
Aye.
Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Brad, something like, with the OPEB, so they have done every other year for OPEB study.
Yeah.
All right, next one is the property assessor. That's the one I'm looking at. $151,000.
That's because last year the property assessor and the reappraisal was combined in the initial budget. It was broken out here this year.
So if we kind of look at them together, it would still be down around 20 grand, 13 grand. Because the initial on the other one is 138.
Yeah, a little bit, about $12,000-13,000 less in total.
Of course, that does include mandated raise for the official.
Why the huge increase in postal charges?
And the reappraisal would have more.
Well, no, this is the assessor's office. The assessor's office went up 4,300 in postal charges. From,
Tax card, 348.
The reappraisal cards. He told me, I can't remember. Let me see what else notes on here.
because I figured it was part of reappraisal, then it would be in the other one, but they've only got $1,000 in there.
I don't have any notes on it.
And then in data, is it data processing services, line 317. The original budgeted amount was 77330 or 773,507. And the amended was 0, and then this year they've got 10 grand. Was there a specific thing?
Okay, that 77 went down to reappraisal.
Gotcha. Never mind. Yep, I see it. Why do they both have 10 grand though?
Like, yeah, it's duplicated.
Yeah, it looks like it's duplicated. Looks,
We went over each one of these line items, I cannot for the life of me remember what we discussed. It's been probably 6 weeks ago.
Do we think we need to address that if there's
We can-
discrepancies and we can withdraw that?
yeah, I hate to be the fly in the ointment on that one, but if it's duplicated, we need to get it corrected because otherwise there'll be $10,000 floating around out there with no home. And then we'll never find it. Yeah, 317.
If you just get that kind of clarified, Brad, and see if there is, what's up with that. And I guess ask on those postal charges if you think that's necessary.
Yeah, or if it's actually supposed to be in the reappraisal program rather than the assessor's office. Because they're shot up, like 2017 was only like 2,300. And then 2019, it jumped up to almost 3,000. And then now it's jumped up to 10,000.
So we can just withdraw that until, we get some verification on that. Everybody's all right on that, how's that sound? Good. Okay, now moves on to the trustees. For total 353,742. Page 37.
Looks like there's one up aside from TCRS.
Mandated raise, I think, one day.
Right, I've done such a lot, it's not a large increase, but they've got 2,200 proposed in the travel budget, they've only used less than 500 this year.
He is planning on doing more traveling next year, plus his employees are, participating in the CCFO program.
I'll open the floor for approval for the trustees.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Patty Woodby, second by Travis Hill. Discussion on that? Perfect. You're ready, I think.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Motion carries. The county clerk with the request of $453,412. Page 38.
Brad, was she on, did she agree to do the maintenance agreement of the, reserve accounts?
She don't have that much in
She
her,
didn't have,
it's the
okay.
register, circuit, and programmatic.
The increase for part-time personnel.
$169, Brad, is that?
That's pretty much what she's running this year. She does use part-time all she can. Her budget hardly changes from year to year.
It's actually less than the estimated for this year.
Did they have someone drop off the medical insurance?
It was overestimated. In the original 1920 budget.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion by Travis Hill, second by Aaron Frazier. Any discussion?
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland.
Aye.
Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Carries. Circuit Court, the credit request 453-412.
Motion to approve.
Second. Frazier, Mr. Campbell. Discussion on that?
They did a really good job because, I mean, they only took out like 49,000 for the TCRS changes and still come up 53,000 down. So they found another $4,000.
Thank you guys for that. Sir?
Good looking budget.
Yeah.
I'm just like.
That part of your job, is that what you do? Good job. Yeah.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
The general session report, 244,588. Page 40.
Did they take somebody from part-time to full-time?
No, his secretary was working full-time some weeks in this year, but she's gonna be working full-time hours in 2021.
Motion to approve.
Yes, please. Second. Motion by Kelly Collins, second by Travis Hill. Discussion on that.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Drug court, next line, $8,300.
And this one is offset with the same amount of restricted revenue, just inflow and outflow.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Frazier, second by Woodby. Any discussion there?
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Chancery Court. 351,235. West.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Question.
Is the whole $2,500 for the, is that the cost of the TCA book?
I don't know how much they cost.
If it's a whole new.
Now, was she willing to use the reserve account, Brad, for her, maintenance agreement?
I think we had a motion on that, didn't we?
The motion by Frazier, second by, Mark Tester.
Further discussion there?
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Carries. The next line, under administration of justice. Juries.
this the one that you were saying that there was another capital case coming up?
in January. If we're able to have jury trials at that point.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Motion by Frazier, second by Willie Campbell.
Willie Campbell,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Yes.
Martin Tester, Isaiah Grinstead, aye. Ross Garland, Travis Hill, Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Carries. And next line will be the sheriff.
Chairman Garden, I believe we may have Ronnie Taylor on the line.
Yes, I did make contact, and he's on the line to discuss
Okay.
the budget.
We can go back to his real quick and,
36, 35, 36. I think the line 317.
It's duplicate, yeah. Girl that's in his office. Oh, you get Ronnie to call us.
all right, Mr. Taylor, you on there with us, sir?
Oh, I couldn't hear you, sir.
Yeah, you're here with us now. Can you hear us loud and clear?
Yeah, I can hear you fairly well, yes.
Okay, well, we'll do our best to speak up. I had that page number, but lost it again.
35 and 36.
36. All right, yeah, there were a couple of just questions that we had, on your budget, just to get clarification, I think. Which one do we have? 317 data processing services, proposed $10,000, an increase of 2264.
And then it was duplicated again under the reappraisal program, where it looks like it was duplicated under the reappraisal program.
Yes, we had, I believe it was 10,000 requests on that for the data process through the comptroller's office, that we have to pay for processing our reappraisal.
So it's both
But I don't think it should have been in the one budget. I don't know for sure now where 10,000 will take care of it or not, but I believe 10,000 was all that was supposed to be in there in one of the others. See, we combined that budget last year, and then we had to pull it back apart because unable to bill the city, the formula that they use, Brad said, we'd have to take it back apart and put, the reappraisal budget in one and then the assessor's office in another. So there's a possibility that the 10,000 in one or the other, probably the assessor's office probably shouldn't be there.
Do you need 1,000 or 2,000 or just cut it out all?
Well, you might want to leave a couple of thousand, just so we might run over. I'm not sure. They have to process probably between 35, 40,000 cards. You've got 34,000 parcels. Some of them have multiple cards, and they charge for each one of them.
How about we give you and see if you can work with that? That'd be okay.
Pardon me, I couldn't hear you.
We give you 1,000 on that. You think you can work with that?
Yeah, we'll go with it and see what we can do with it.
Also, Ronnie, line 348, for the reappraisal office, you've only got $1,000 in there. But then in the actual assessor's office, you've got 10,000 in there. Is that
Which one is that? Which line is that?
Line 348,
Postal charges.
postal charges. It's the same
Now,
budget.
well, postal charges, we'll have to mail the notices out. We have to pay the postage on that.
Yeah, I was just
And
in the right one under the assessor's office or the reappraisal office.
either one of them, but the 10,000 probably needs to be there to cover that.
Okay.
But the other one has always had some, for a backup on the reappraisal. We never know, exactly what it's going to be, where postage is going to go to, or whatever, but in reappraisal year, we always increase it some you know, to take care of whatever the increase might be. But, it should stay where it's at.
Ronnie, I know you took it out of your budget. What amount did you have budgeted for a new vehicle?
Pardon me, I can't hear you.
What amount of money did you have put in there for a new vehicle this year?
I had for years I had the $9,900 per vehicle, and about 4 or 5 years ago they asked for a 15% reduction in our budget. I took the $9,900 out. I said, well, we'll take that to zero because I don't purchase a vehicle every year. And we'll put that back in the general fund. But, if it ever comes to the time that I may need a vehicle, I hope, the commission will work with me.
Okay, I was thinking you needed one this year.
Well, I put in for, $27,500. That's what Brad suggested, about what would be sufficient, to get a 4-wheel drive Jeep. We have to have a 4-wheel drive in that office. But, I made the suggestion that I could let that go. But if we needed one, then, I would come to you. But we'll go with what we've got, if it'll help the budget.
All right, Ronnie, we appreciate that and hopping online with us, and Aaron, thank you.
Yes, sir. But it's we've already this year we've picked up 67 new houses already.
Yep, good.
And they've ranged anywhere from 100,000 to 500,000, some maybe 600. But we've worked really hard. Plus we have to do our the reappraisal coming up, plus our normal workload. So it's going to be a busy year, and hopefully with the vehicles we got, it'll hold out maybe. If not, we'll look at that when the time comes.
Hopefully you can stay lucky, and if you need some help, just come back to us. So.
Okay, I sure will. I appreciate y'all.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Yeah, thank you all very much. Good night.
We're trying to, we could open up $10,000. I was just asking if we just cut 10,000 out of that one line, would he may be opposed to putting it back in a vehicle? But he does basically get the best bargain he can, but he lost his Porsche service connection.
I think the one that they're currently using is, I want to say about as skinny Cobalt, but pretty close.
The one he has requires a lot of repair work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not opposed to make a budget amendment this year's budget. Take out fund balance, buy one.
Yeah. We kind of leave it where it's at, and if it does, like you said, needs probably that need or be shopping around, we can help you out.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve it with the removal of the extra 10,000 on line 317, since it was duplicated in line 317 and fund 52-310.
Second.
And I put my foot in my mouth and said he needed 1,000, so.
He heard that?
Well, yeah, 1,000. We'll leave him 1,000.
Yeah, so 317 will be $1,000.
Yep. And I know we can't set it as that or anything, but I know we can't set what his budget would be in that particular line item, but I would make a motion that we would approve it at that. And I think he was gonna set it to that anyway, so.
All right, you note that change, Brad? You got that? All right. So we got the motion by Frager, and we get a second. On that, by Kelly. We'll talk about that more.
So what are we doing exactly? I mean, I know what we're doing, but are we giving him the 27.5?
No, just reducing
Reducing
the one line where he had the extra $9,000 where he kind of duplicated it between the two. And then if he ends up ultimately needing a vehicle, we just told him to come back to us.
Okay.
If it don't, dies.
So $11,000 in the assessor, 317 line, remove $10,000 from reappraisal, 317 basically.
I
No,
thought it was coming out of the assessor.
yeah, it's coming off the assessor's one,
One there.
because they need the data processing services in the other one, but they don't need it in the assessor's office.
On the tax cards, Brad, since that's what they're doing, would that make more sense to bring that out of the assessor's line as opposed to the reappraisal line?
How much the postage fee?
So the
317 data processing.
The comptroller's office.
Yeah, I think he has 10,000 in reappraisal.
He's got 10,000 in both of them though.
He's
Right.
saying
So he's
he just
come out
needs
of
1,000 in the
assessor.
in the-
Assessor needs to be decreased by $9.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he said reappraisal where you need it, I think.
Yeah.
14.
Willie Campbell,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
yes,
Mark Tester, Isaiah Grindstaff, Ross Garland, Travis Hill, Aaron Frazier, Kelly Collins, 8 ayes.
Motion carries. That gets us down to the sheriff's department. Which, $4,564,089. That's on page 44. I think we've got those representatives are here if there are questions or, my chief, I don't know if you've got anything to add. Just, all right.
The animal control was moved from the, animal shelter. And 6,000 went into the sheriff's department for fuel. I think $3,000 is a better figure than that. And the salary portion is under the jail and the overtime line item. It's separated from the regular overtime.
Hey, Brad, I would recommend that you could reduce that gasoline number down a good bit more than that, because gasoline is so cheap now that we're gonna be in the black at the end of this year, and I think we can still consume that. You just wanna put a small amount in there as far as keeping that line, but we certainly don't need that.
Okay, I looked at, 1 month before the meeting tonight, there's $220 for that 1 month. That may have been, had more, but. What do you think? How much?
I would put a placeholder in there of about $500 and spend it up, and then we can do like we've been doing, taking out of our regular line. If gasoline prices go up, then next year we can go with the active.
I was gonna ask about uniforms. That's 8,000.
Yeah. Uniforms, an increase of 8,000, chief, on that is.
I'm sorry, so
Uniforms, and the increase, it's gone up $8,000 to $38,000 total proposed. If that's necessary or mandatory, just.
it's been a while since we rotated uniforms out. What we've been doing is as the officers wear their uniforms all the way out, we've been replacing it. And they've been getting further and further behind on the life cycle, maintenance in their uniforms. So we put a little larger wedge in this year's uniform line to try to catch them up. Specifically, what we're looking at replacing is the coats, the winter coats. I don't know the last time winter coats was purchased, it's probably 7, 8 years ago, and the coats have worn out, and they're rather expensive items. But that's what if you see an increase on the uniforms on the patrol side and on the jail side, coats and kind of get caught up.
said you were short eight employees, something like that the other night. What happens to their uniforms?
They get put right back into stock, and they're waiting whenever we can hire them.
They have to send them back in.
Yes, ma'am.
Chief, did you fill the positions of the two retired officers,
That would be,
Kenny and?
yes, ma'am. They've both been replaced. Normally what happens is we pull up individuals out of the jail, send them to the academy to replace the retiring certified officers.
They came in at a lower salary.
And I think this has probably been asked before, but the increase 45,540 on communication.
A good portion of that is where, Brad moved the cable and the internet that used to lay over on the mayor's budget and moved it over onto ours. There has been an increased number of cell phones for the SROs. But the largest portion of that was the internet itself, the internet and cable.
And the 5,000 for maintenance and repairs, repair service for buildings.
We had to split that for 10,000, one line, 336 line, and I split that to have 5 of the 335, 5 and 336.
Okay.
The lease payments are from the vehicles.
Yes, sir.
What about the operating lease payments? 15,000.
Which one?
Operating lease,
Line 330.
15,500. Never been budgeted before.
That's the lease on the drug, vehicle.
Okay.
I knew that I recognized that number, but I couldn't remember where it was from. Notice that you dropped the law enforcement equipment line a lot. Was it just to save costs this year a little bit?
That's just based on the requirements. You know, in years past, we've had larger requirements for law enforcement equipment, and we've been getting in better shape. The only real requirement that we have pending this year on law enforcement equipment is life cycle turnover on our sidearms and our rifles. And we're going to be able to, with the trade-in on our sidearms and the seized forfeited weapons that are going to get traded in, we probably won't need more than $25,000 to replace the weapons.
What is the increase in the SRO research officer line?
That line item, if you look back at 2018, we were about 439,000. Since then, we've added, and then we went down because there was that year where we didn't have the 16th SRO, the 15th and the 16th SROs weren't added yet. So if you go all the way back to 2017, 2018, and then you add in those two positions, plus the cost of living allowance that we received last year and the small amount we had the year prior, it's really about $14,000 or $15,000 increase, and that'll be largely steps. That number's been up and down, but there has been in 17, 18, 2 additional positions.
I think I asked this for the increase on clerk personnel, is that where the SRO was moving to?
Yes, sir.
I just have a question. What is the normal time frame that your SROs stay at schools, or do they cycle out onto the road sometimes? Or are they always with the schools?
We prefer them to be professional SROs. I mean, there will be times that, you know, that may not necessarily work out for them, and we'll move them out on patrol for patrol officer may desire to move into a school, they'll be swapped out. But it's not like they move from the jail to SRO to patrol. It's not a normal progression.
So if you do move them out onto patrol and they don't work out, then you have to start the training again to refill that spot? Or do you move someone, how does that work? How do you fill the SRO spot if you do have someone move out on patrol?
Normally they move to another department. That would be probably the best scenario.
Okay.
But sometimes if they do move out on patrol, it would be a one-for-one swap.
You're swapping them off, they're just swapping spots.
If somebody moves out and we have a vacancy, then they move up from the jail, they go to the police academy, then they go to SRO school, and then they go to SRO.
Chief, I'm going to ask a question, and I'm not trying to be a jerk whenever I ask this question, okay? Whenever school was let out, were those SRO officers furloughed, or were they just continued to use in other duties around the school?
Well, they were not used around the school. When the schools were let out, it was, you know, you have to think back, it was initially, you know, we had a 2-week or a 1-month kind of deal. So we dispersed the SROs out to the patrol district to take care of the increased volume of calls that we have, the domestic violences, and there was an initial surge, and we still get it, with domestic violence, people living with each other that weren't before kind of deal. We had that initial surge, and those calls for service and some property crimes, calls for service. So they were put on patrol, and that's where all the two are. Lieutenant Carlock still kind of takes care of his administrative deals, and we've got Sergeant Muncie, he's helping out with some administrative duties, but the rest of them are on patrol duties, where they're basically waiting for school to, whenever it does come back into the session. If we furloughed them or laid them off, the SRO program would probably cease to exist, to be quite honest. But they have continued to work in patrol duties and general law enforcement duties, and waiting whenever school does come back into session. And this has lingered because it went from 2 weeks to the end of the month to the next month, and schools were not, because we didn't know whether schools were going to be continued through the summer into the August timeframe and just go right into school again, until the governor stated probably 2 weeks ago, you know, that's it for schools this year, we're not going back. So they've been waiting, you know, for schools to come back, but they have not. They're not just sitting around, they're answering calls for service.
Okay.
Why the big jump in service and staff development?
I'm sorry.
Staff development in service, was that just not budgeted right the first time, or?
It was moved.
The training and in-service development monies, those haven't increased. Brad kind of split them up and moved them around, so there's increases and decreases across several line items there and on the training lines. Am I saying that right, Brad?
Yes.
I think one of them is line 196 on page 44. In-service training went down by 17,200.
Sorry, I see it now.
I didn't notice it until you said it, so.
Does the county have an MOU with the sheriff's department for the ones that are being funded from the county commission?
How about the
The
school?
school resource officer.
Yes, ma'am, we have an MOU with the BOE.
Did you have one with do we have one with you for the ones that we signed? Do we have any kind of MOU,
That,
or do we piggyback off of the school system?
well, the schools, well, that's kind of a collective deal, to be honest. And it's been like that for probably 20 years. You know, what, ultimately the county pays for all of them, all 16. You know, and there's an MOU with the school system to provide some revenue back to offset, you know, whatever additional requirements that they may have.
And they made a quarterly payment back into your budget, correct?
So, I mean, it wouldn't make sense for us to have an MOU with the county, because you pay it all anyway. It's just, the schools provide have revenue back.
Efficient, that's-
Yeah, there's not a separate.
Thank you, Gary. That's something, you might want to come up here and join us.
I just had school board meeting, right? Dexter was there presenting that you all want to go to 10. SRO, in other words, not go to 10, but basically the schools fund 10 and the commission fund 6. So we all know that, schools fund 10, we fund 6. My question is, if the schools are with their money going to be paying for those 10, and we're gonna pay for the 6, if you don't think providing what's gonna be the assurance for us to say for the 6, because if they agree, Dexter just said that he wanted them to sign for 10 over there to guarantee that they be 10 SROs. We're paying for 6 over here. What
Well, you pay
guarantee
for-
do we have for the 6 is what I'm saying.
You pay for all 16.
Well,
The county pays for all 16. And the schools have never really paid the full amount on 10. You know, they've always got a best friend deal. Because if you look at what the actual cost of 10 SROs is, it's probably 450, and probably 450,000 if you count training and vehicles and gasoline and uniforms and whatever else. So, I mean, the schools do the best that they can to help with the revenue, to help keep the most amount of SROs out there. And in the past 3 or 4 years, you know, Dr. Ward, the county commission, has worked very, very hard to get that number to 16 SROs, which is 1 SRO in each school plus the roving supervisor. So as far as, do they pay for 10? No, not really. I mean, you know, are they guaranteed 10? You know, if the sheriff wants to say we're not gonna go below 10, that's fine. But ultimately, the county commission, they pay for all of them. And it's a good thing, you know, whatever negotiation that the county commission has with the school board as far as the revenue, we're not in that. You know, we are providing, the sheriff's office provides 16 SROs. That's what we do. We man, train, and equip the SRO program in conjunction, you know, supporting the school security program with, you know, every single school out there. And it is the most aggressive, most progressive SRO program in the state. And the county commission should be proud of that. If the county commission wants more revenue from the schools, you know, that's a negotiation that the county commission should pay. You know, we've been in that MOU, which started 4 or 5 years ago, to set an amount. And at that time, that's what they offered. It was certainly less than the 350-some thousand we have now. I think it's 301,000. You know, that's what Dr. Ward had to give back to the county commission in order to provide at that time probably 12 or 13 SROs. And over the years, you know, we took one out of Hyde. The county commission has contributed additional money to the pot, just as the schools have contributed additional monies to the pot. And it's a good thing. As far as how much revenue they provide back to the county, I don't know. I know what's in our budget, which is we have enough money to pay for 16 SROs.
okay,
That's not really our negotiation, the revenue side. The only thing that we tell you know, we come up here and we say, it's gonna cost this amount to fund 16 SROs. And then the budget committee says, yeah, you're right, you're not, you know, we'll give you whatever amount we asked for this year.
$516.
$516,000 to provide the salary line, just the salary line for that SRO, plus the benefits, which are included in all of our benefits. So it's not really, the county sheriff department doesn't bill anybody. We don't get any money. It all comes back into the general fund to provide that.
I think what I'm trying to ask is, okay, if the school paying for 10, we're paying for 6. If
I mean,
those
that's-
6 are not there, or we paying something we're not getting. And the thing is, I understand me being at the schools. 16 just ain't gonna happen. I mean, people get sick, they got vacations, they're gonna be there. So I mean, we've got to realize that if we're gonna guarantee 10 with the school, and if we're gonna pay for 6, we're not gonna get 6. But if you know, we said, say, okay, we can guarantee you 2 of the 6 or 3 of the 6. I mean, 6 is not gonna happen. I know that, you know that, because like I said, car wrecks, emergencies, vacations, holidays, pregnancies, whatever, so I'm just saying, I don't know what it is, as a taxpayer, are we paying for 6 and not getting 6? You know, I mean, if you was looking at like, is your sheriff department, you're gonna pay sheriff department. If you're looking at a taxpayer, we're paying for 6, are we getting 6? 6 ain't gonna happen. I know that, you know that. It's just, what can you tell us with the SROs that if we're gonna pay for 6, that we can get?
Well, I can tell you right now, you know, across the entire sheriff's office, we're down eight personnel. And a lot of that's because we can't do the civil service test. We can't hire. I mean, but when those individuals aren't there, that money does not get spent out of the budget. You know, we work as hard as we can to keep our frontline patrol officers positions filled and SRO positions filled, because both of those are frontline, and they're both responsible for the safety and security of the county. As far as, I really don't know what you're getting at, because we work very hard anytime that there's a vacancy to pull somebody up, do an assessment, pull somebody up immediately out of the jail, or hire, if we are fortunate enough to bring in a certified officer from outside and put them in that position. Now, there's going to be times that, in like this past year or so, when we had the 2 positions that we had to fill, and then you lose a couple of positions. It was kind of awkward in the past year, because it was +2, and then if you have a couple that get a job somewhere else, or they leave for mostly getting a job somewhere else. So there was a time there when we may have been down 3 or 4, but there was 2 in the academy and 2 in FDO. But I mean, that's our job, is to man, train, and equip that program. It's not like we're trying to cheat anybody out of anybody.
I think what he's looking at is utilization. Do you guys track the utilization of the SRO program? Like, what's the percentage of the amount of time? You've got 100% would be there was 1 man hour for every assignment.
79% of the entire yearly, if you had whatever, we'll say a $30,000 average, whatever the average salary is, or is 79% of that is for school duty, and 21% of that, which is obviously your summer months, and your Christmas break is towards either in-service, vacation, taking comp time, and out of that 21%, when they're not doing that, they may have court, or they will work patrol duties.
Right, but a person can't be 100% utilized in a job position. Like for our field service technicians that we have, we figured out at 80% is what that person could be actually utilized. I mean, they have to have time. There has to be their vacation time and stuff in there. So it's disregarding the summer months, because we already know that. Let's look at it. The regular school year would be 100% utilized. Do you guys aim for like an 80% utilization on that? Because at 80% on 16, I think that would get us around 12, maybe, hold on. It'd be like 13. So if we're looking at it in a reality situation, 13 is going to be the amount that's normally going to be there on a given day, just in a normal reality type situation. And there's nothing wrong with that. 80% utilization is fantastic.
It'll be a little higher than that, because we will not get them off during the school year for in-service, and we strongly encourage them, unless it's a family situation, to take their leave during the summer months and during the Christmas break and Thanksgiving break. That's when they take that, take their 2 or 3 weeks a year off, whatever steps they're in, they take that off then, and they take their comp time then, and they take their training then. So it's gonna be 80% or a little above.
If you guys do schedule it to where it's in the summer, whenever school is closed for a lot of their vacation time, yeah, that will get you real close to that number. And I think that's what Gary is looking at, is like, what's the actual utilization? We're never going to be at 16. That's where we're supposed to be at, but realistically and theoretically, that is an impossible number to obtain.
Well, we're at 16 now, and we've got trying to build a bench, which is a little hard as far as having somebody in the academy waiting for a potential vacancy. We are there now, but it took a good 12 to 18 months to get there.
Okay,
Okay, that's not really what I guess what I'm thinking, what he's talking about.
Gary, I can't hear you.
Okay, that's basically what I was leading to, with the other part, is utilization, like he said, 80%. Realistically, we all know you can't have it. I mean, like I said, if you get sick, or pregnancy, vacation, holidays, whatever. But right now, could you not send one or two, if it's being paid, and have them already trained, and that's what they want to go, and then if an opening comes up, the school does not have to wait 8 or 9 weeks to go through that training. There's more SRO officers available than what's really serving the house, I guess, in the summer. You said, say, okay, in the fall, I got 16.
That's been done.
Let's send 4 or 5 more. Let's get,
Well, you can't send 4 or 5, but that's been done now. There's one in the academy now. That's gonna be slated against we don't have a vacancy.
and then, okay, but you see what I'm saying, then if one leaves, that job's open, and then it's full, the school's not waiting on to be empty while they're being trained. I think
But that's the same,
It's going the wrong way.
it's the same for the entire department. And I'm gonna give kudos to the county commission for what they did last year as far as taking care of us on the medical insurance and on the cost of living allowance. Because our attrition rate has decreased to, it's the lowest it's been probably in, I'm talking about retention, people going out the back door to better paying jobs. That's what hurts us on all of that, whether it's SROs, patrol, jail, wherever. Because when you get people going out the back door, you can't ever get caught up on the training. So what you did last year, it stopped. It really did. As far as, the jailers leaving, I can tell you in 2014, they were leaving 1 week. The year prior to that, there was 95 left. In 2014, it was down to about 50. This year, we might lose 1 jailer or 1 patrolman a month. And that has allowed us to get caught up and get to the point that you're talking about. Because when you got more people going out the back door, you can't feed them into the academy quick enough to keep, primary patrol, that's all it's called up. But to get to the point that you're wanting to get to, county commission's done it. And without you taking that step last year, we would still be in the same position. We'd be 2 or 4 down because they can go over here to Elizabeth Police Department and make $5,000 more, or they can go to Johnson City Police Department and make $10,000 more. But that's where we're at now. We're caught up, and it's because we've got decent pay and benefits. The benefits really, really helped that HSA, really, really did. I hear it every day.
I got one more thing, and I'll sit down. I may get shot over this one, really. Okay, how much is SRO training? In an office?
Well, you come back to the academy and to
Yeah.
SRO.
I mean, he's already an officer, he goes to SRO training. 10,000?
SRO training on it. I mean, if you're counting the academy and SRO training, it's probably still a little less than $10,000.
Okay, then, this is something I'm gonna throw to you all to look at through law enforcement. If an SRO officer made a $1,000 increase, and he would be willing to stay, in other words, if he's gonna make $1,000 more to be an SRO officer, they may not jump ship as much, and it's cheaper on us than sending them to training.
They like
Because there's
it.
only 16.
I'm
So, I mean, you see what I'm saying? Give them $1,000 more.
And you already know it, and you don't know it. Called Carter cares. A lot of the additional opportunities that they have to make overtime money within the school system, SROs do actually make a little more than the standard patrol officer, and they get a great shift, and they get a chance to work with cops, with kids. Cops and kids things, they really like that. So you're already kind of doing that on the money side, whether it be Carter cares or working the ball games, that kind of thing. They do have additional overtime opportunities. And a lot of SROs really appreciate that, and they'll stay in SRO. And you're getting older and older and older SROs, more experienced. I'm not talking about old like me, but I'm talking about somebody who's 35 years old that's been in the business about 10 years. You're getting that experience. School system's already enabled that. With those opportunities, it's a good thing. But, what you're asking about, you and the schools and the county commission have already enabled it. Tom and I just signed the POs to pay for the individual that just started the academy this week. And that's what he's what he's in the academy for is 16 weeks down the road, if we do lose an SRO, he's ready for it.
All right. We appreciate the comments from everybody on that, but let's try to get, see if we can get this budget along. Keep moving forward. Any other questions or?
Are we doing public safety and the jail separate, or are they going in together?
No, we're still on sheriff's right now as far as.
Was that recognizing that $3,000 decrease in the animal control gasoline?
Well, I thought, did they want to go to 500? What did that?
I'm gonna defer to Brad, shut up.
I mean, look at that 1 month while we're talking about, I think it's probably March. I think it'll be a little bit more than 500, but if y'all will need the rest of that, please.
I mean, it's your line of account. I mean, if you're wanting to account just for that in a separate line, I understand it. But it's just a dollars and cents thing. We're in the black on gas.
Okay.
Which line are we talking about?
I think it's 50 or 40, 425,085, I believe. It's in, kind of highlighted there on that page 46.
Y'all mind it's like 157,000?
Next one down, 6,000. Grayed out.
Is it?
No, mine must be old.
$500, Brad, you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
What will that bring the new total to?
Looks like. 4,558,000, 589,11.
$589.11.
Mm-hmm.
All right, are there any other questions on the sheriff's budget? I'll look it up for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, first by Mr. Frazier, second by Mr. Tester. Quick discussion, anything else?
455848911.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just taking down your time. All right. Yeah.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Whitby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff. Ross Starling. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
8 ayes.
Motion carries. It's down to jail.
Thank you, Chief.
Jail's on 47 also, right below it. 47 or 48.
On page 47, the salary and the benefits for the animal control are high. Four counts.
And what's the total on that one, Brad? On page 47?
Total salary and benefits,
Yeah, total salary and benefits.
2,596,658.81.
31. Thank you, sir.
solution.
Oh, gracias.
Any questions for the jail budget?
I have a question for Chief. He's available. I have a question. Did you see a reduction in the food and the inmate clothing during the month? The jail population had increased from the judges.
Yes, absolutely. It went down, well, our
I know
inmate,
they're still maintaining a decent low jail population.
it's starting to hit back.
It's aging back up, but we did maintain a low population for a few months with him releasing some.
Yes, ma'am, it went down by about 33%. We went down, I think we were at 336 inmates, and then we went down all the way to roughly 209. And, as a result, we saw a reduction in the amount, obviously the amount of food. The medical still costs the same as the law contract.
Chief, there's a big jump in other charges, $599 on that. It's up to $7,500, about $5,300 increase. You know what that is exactly? Other charges.
Hey, Tom, what did we put in 599?
Other charges?
Jail,
Oh, jail.
Mattresses, mattresses.
Oh, that's the mattresses.
Soften them more up.
Cafeteria personnel who hire someone else.
We, moved an individual from part-time to full-time. So you'll see probably a reduction, a couple of part-time individuals to get to one cafeteria person per shift. If we had only 3 full-time cafeteria personnel, so there was a trade-off there.
That's more than one, you say.
That's just one. That probably came out of the,
Yeah, the part-time personnel shows flat.
it wasn't that, well, I take that back, it wasn't an addition in the individual, we pulled it out of the guard side, pulled it out of the cafeteria. But
Oh, that's where the
it was
drop
a
is.
Part-time position, part-time person that took a full-time position. To say it correctly.
About 355 for travel, went up 10,000. Took that budget.
That's likely gonna be a continuation if there was no increase in in-service training or. It was moved from one line to another line in there somewhere. Because we didn't spend all of our travel and training money this year. The virus situation.
Yeah, it looks like it's 9,200. It's on line 196. Other salaries and benefits.
Motion approved.
Motion on the floor here, second. Motion by Travis Hill, second by Mark Tester. Any other discussion?
Just one thing, and it's probably a dumb question, but why the jump in food supplies, 47,500, even though you've been down about 33%?
That is a temporary thing that was, the reduction in inmates was directed by the state Supreme Court in order to, prepare us for the pandemic. That number will not stay that low because the courts have not been, basically the courts have not been in operation. They've been operating very minimal, in a very minimal capacity. What you will see is an increase in the number of inmates over the next couple of months as warrants are served, because we haven't been able to serve misdemeanor arrest warrants. We've been serving felony arrest. So there's going to be a backlog of arrest warrants that need to be served on a lot of transient criminals that we have out there. So the number's going to go back up. So what we did is we had the budget based on last year's number, and our average daily population last year was 340. So that's what those numbers are based on. It's 340 inmates, not
Willie Campbell. Patty Whitby.
Yes.
Martin Tester. Isaiah Grunstaff, Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Motion carries.
Thank you all very much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, Chief.
Answer the question.
Thanks, Captain.
We'll go to juvenile services. 215, 654. Who's that? Is that?
Why, though, it's the under Judge Fowler's juvenile probation officers.
Yeah, so there's. Motion to approve on that, open the floor for motion.
Motion to approve.
Your second.
Second.
All right, motion by Ms. Woodley, second by Isaiah Grunstaff. Any discussion there? Are you ready?
Willie Campbell. Patty Whitby.
Yes.
Martin Tester. Isaiah Grunstaff, Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Motion carries. And Ken Gooch, are you on there still with us, sir?
And
Yeah. Well, we kept you hanging again. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go now. We're gonna jump down to, the Parks and Fair Boards. It's, page 15, about middle ways down. I think that's right. Yes, I believe you got budgeted 100,000 right now is where that stands. We talked a little bit about, 75?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Budget. Okay, yes, Ken, we spoke the other night, and I had a chance to talk with you today. I think you would, you requested like 102, I believe is where you were at, and we, kind of talked it out the other night to be at 75, and just want to kind of get some thoughts or see if you would be able to work with that, for us this year.
What page? Sorry, Ross.
It's, page 15, it's Parks and Fair Boards.
61.
Oh,
61.
I'm sorry, yeah, 61.
Thank you.
My bad.
Ross, I went over this after we talked today, and 75 would hurt. I can live with 80. We, as you know, the city is in the same situation that the county is. So my thinking is that the project that we put $25,000 on, the watershed trails, is probably not going to happen next year, just because, well, like I said, they have the same situation we do, and they're going to have to make some cuts. And then we can make a small adjustment to our maintenance reserve. That would take us from the 107, 780 or 870 that we originally requested down to around $80,000. I believe we could live with 80 if we have to.
That still got 5,000 in there for the park, for the covered bridge celebration?
That's right. I would just absolutely hate to have to cut that out. I would hate to have to cut out the Friends of Roan Mountain, renewing that pavilion on Roan Mountain that the Forest Service has abandoned. We can't cut the volunteers who actually run our parks for us. They're asking for very little as it is. I think we're going to need the $80,000 to do the job you want us to do.
How about if the city does have a covered bridge, you come back for that 5,000? I'm sure we
That needs to come from county commission. I don't think that needs to come from just that one committee.
Well, as you may know, the mayor requested that we take this on. And it seemed like a reasonable place to do it. Now, if you need to take that out, Of course, that's up to you. But also keep in mind that I'm just one voice and one vote out of 9. I'm the chairman of the board. I'm not the head of the department. So the board members will make the final determination on where this money goes.
Well, Ken, this is Isaiah. One concern we have is it seems that every year, and like I said, I've said in previous meetings, you all do a great job, and you all are volunteers. It's not like you're, making money hand over fist here. But, our concern is every year you come back and you're double, your budget has basically tripled. Because your budget is actually, and has been historically, $25,000. And then we've always given you one-time monies to spend for different projects or different this or different that, which has allowed you to get that 125 mark, basically for last year, because of all those one-time expenditures. 125 for last year. So your budget is basically tripled every time it's presented. And that's scary, to be quite honest with you, because that's a lot of money that, it's just like the $5,000, which I agree with, I agree with you for the mayor, and the mayor, I'm fine with giving the city $5,000. That's literally $5,000 we'll put in your budget that's going to flow right out of your budget, right to the city, that, we already have a line for to give through Parks and Rec directly to the city. There's the pavilion that you're talking about in Roan Mountain it's actually owned and on state property that you're wanting to give money to, that federal property, sorry, that you're wanting to give money to that third party to rebuild and take care of and adopt. We have a lot of things that we've grown exponentially, and we just don't, we're having to rely on these volunteers to take care of things. I mean, your budget should be more, but at the same time, you should also, like you just said, you're just one of 9. You should be a department instead of a board. Just a board, right? So I mean, that's some of our concerns that I think that we have is, trying to balance these flow throughs, trying to balance the exponential growth of your budget and what we want you to accomplish.
Well, I think your points are very well taken. Actually, the budget when I took over this job 5 years ago was $11,286.25. And we've grown it significantly since then. Your point about needing a department rather than a board, well, if the county commission wants to do that, certainly I wouldn't be opposed to it. Eventually, I think that may be the way thing goes. But for the time being, what you've decided to do is to have this board. And the only way that we have been able to do the job that you set us to do is by involving volunteers. This is what we've done at Roan Mountain. This is what we have done at Greenbridge Landing. This is what we've done at each and every one of the developments that we have made. It saves the county a tremendous amount of money. But at some point, you are correct, it's going to become more than volunteers can handle. We have been very careful to make sure that that does not happen. Anything that we take on, we make sure that we have lined up the volunteers to do the work first before we proceed with the project. And there are so many communities around this county that are not served at all with any sort of recreational facilities. That's why we exist. We want to get these recreational facilities where they're needed in the outlying communities. You may notice that we haven't built anything near Elizabethton until right now with Gap Creek Park. And that's on purpose. We're trying to serve those communities that cannot be served otherwise. The only way that we've been able to find that, able to do it with the amount of money that you've been able to give us is the way we have approached it. So do I think it's a large amount of money? No, it's a very small amount of money. But it seems to be, from what we understand, what you want us to do. And that is to build recreational facilities and opportunities for the people of the county, and also, consequently, our visitors.
Thank you. We know you got a good group on there. With vision.
It is a great group. I have never enjoyed working with a group of people like I have enjoyed working with this board. It's just truly great people, publicly spirited people who are trying to do the right thing for the people of this county.
Ken, can you give me a quick breakdown of what the 75 or what you guys are requesting for this year? What's it supposed to be going for?
Right. Okay. I don't know if you got a copy of our budget worksheet or not. I probably not. Very quickly, Roan Mountain Community Park, $6,000 as an operating subsidy. $6,000 to run that entire park is all that is being requested. We need $270 for our website. We pay for lighting at the Blevins Road boat ramp. That's only $600. We have $2,500 in the budget to support the Lee and Lois Herndon chapter of the Tennessee Ornithological Society. Say that fast 5 times. They're in the process of writing and publishing a book on the birds of Carter County, and we've promised they do all of the work. We help them, give them $2,500 to subsidize the publication. That's supposed to be done this year. We put in $5,000 for the birding festival. That's not going to happen, I don't think, so that can come out. Pocket parks, we put in $20,000. Last year we requested 10, and that is so that we can offer more of an incentive to groups around the county to actually build these small parks in the outlying communities. Gap Creek Park, whereas last year you gave us $50,000, we had 97 with grants. We're only asking $25,000 this year. We put in $500 for maintenance of a kayak landing at Bear Cage Road on the Doe River. This is just above the Doe River Gorge. $1,000 operating subsidy for Greenbridge Landing Park. We're basically done there. We have some money in the bank for one more capital improvement, then it's just maintenance. We put in $10,000 for a maintenance reserve. We don't want to have to run back to you every time something breaks. We put in $25,000 for the mountain biking project at the watershed trails, and as we said, we don't think that's going to happen this year. We put in $3,000 for the Friends of Roan Mountain to refurbish a picnic shed at Twin Springs on Roan Mountain that has been abandoned by the Forest Service. We need to do an update of our recreation master plan. We put in $3,500 to cover the expenses of that. The Covered Bridge Festival, we put in $5,000. That came to $107,870.
Did you say the Friends of Roan Mountain that you were wanting to do was actually on Forest Service?
Yes, as I understand it, this is a pavilion that was originally built by the National Forest Service. They have abandoned it. And they have agreed to let the Friends of Roan Mountain take it over and maintain it. And the Friends of Roan Mountain asked us for $3,000 to help defer the expenses.
Do we have that in writing?
Yes. Before we do it, there will be an MOU.
No, I'm not talking between us and Friends of Roan Mountain. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the Forest Service.
This I don't know.
Okay. Because in my dealings with the Forest Service, they cannot be trusted.
No comment.
In your original budget was $107,870. You basically told us you were gonna put out $5,000 for the birding. The Sorba wasn't gonna happen, was $25,000. If we personally take out the $5,000 gift, the county commission cover bridge, that's $35,000. That makes your budget is $72,870.
Yeah, I think that's probably a little low. I'm comfortable at 80. I'm not comfortable at 75 or lower.
That's just what you said you were cutting, so, but you said wasn't gonna happen.
Right. But there are other things that will come along. One of the things that we have to be sure that we can do is be very flexible, because since we're working with volunteers and since we're working with community groups, we have to be ready to move when they are, and that's not always predictable.
But you've got $10,000 scheduled in there for maintenance and other projects, I would assume. So
That's right. And we want to leave that untouched and use it only for emergency situations.
Well,
That's when something breaks. That's when, for example, at Roan Mountain Community Park 2 years ago, flood washed away the fencing. We had to come back to you hat in hand for $7,700 to do that. We want to prevent that.
but that's what we're here for. We're here for those emergencies of unforeseen circumstances that are beyond our control to do. And we were more than happy to provide that funding. But based on the numbers that you give and Travis Hill's math, you know, $72,000, you know, I can see us giving you $75,000. That gives you $13-ish thousand dollars, $13-ish thousand dollars. 10,000 you're making your maintenance reserve, and then an additional $3,000. I mean, that's pretty generous to do with what you may or may not need to do. And then if anything pops up, I'm more than happy to consider it.
Well, actually, what I was going to do was say that the $25,000 for the watershed trail, of course, none of us know where tax revenues are going to come in this year, the city nor the county. If things turn out to be a little better than expected, the city may decide to go ahead with that, and we're going to come back to you and ask for that $25,000. I'd rather not have to come back and surprise you with these things. We know it's a tough budget year. We'd like to get this done if we possibly can, so that we don't have to come back and surprise you.
I would guess if the city's making employees start paying for insurance this year, I'd say they're not going to go back.
I'm sorry, say again, I couldn't hear that.
So I would say since the city started making employees pay for health insurance, they're not going to do a bike trail.
I have to admit that's probably true.
And I'm going to question this master plan. Why does it cost $3,500 to come up with a master plan?
I'm sorry, you're garbled.
What's the $3,500 for the master plan? What does that consist of?
The $3,500 for the 5 years, we have a master plan, and the state wants these things to be updated every 5 years. We did it 5 years ago. It's time to go back and do the update. And the $3,500 is primarily to cover the cost of printing and postage, because we have to send out surveys.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Gooch?
And Ken, before you move forward with the Forestry Service project, I'd make sure that you have everything in writing and have a contract, because I think you'll end up having to lease that property off the feds for $1 a year. And every time that I've tried to get land from them, that's exactly where everything falls through, is whenever they go to sign that lease.
I'll be sure that the Friends of Roan Mountain have everything lined up.
If you can get an agreement to work on Forest Service land. I've done that with another organization I'm involved with, and I might be able to pull up my paperwork and help you set that.
Okay, thank you.
Our tester, miracle worker.
Yeah, I think, but I used to work there.
Ah, cheater, cheater. No fair. I make a motion that we go ahead and approve the, do we have to break this apart for each of the parks, and, or do we approve it all as one lump sum?
In the past, you've approved one lump sum.
Well, the city park and rec is in outside agency.
Oh, so that one's already taken out, and so this one's just for the county. I make a motion, we approve the $75,000 for the Carter County Parks and Rec. If necessary, they're more than welcome to come back if something changes to get the additional monies they may need throughout the remainder of the year.
All right, motion by Frazier for $75,000. Here's a second. Second by Isaiah Grindstaff. Further discussion on that?
I think there needs to be some type of understanding or agreement, or I'm not sure how to word that, where they're giving money to different organizations. And that's what the outside agencies are for. That's why they come to us for 5 hours that night and ask us for money, you know, and I went to church with Louis Herndon, so I, don't have a problem doing that. There's a lot of people up there. And Friends of the Rome Mountain don't have a problem with that, but I have a problem with it going through one committee and then going.
Like a password.
Right, that's volunteers.
Did you hear that, Ken?
Yeah, I understand the gist of it. Remember that everything we do through volunteer groups. We don't have any money in our budget for salaries. We don't have any money in our budget for wages. We depend on volunteer labor for everything. And we're providing basically funds for capital expenditures to all of these groups. They then do the work. They then operate the parks. In this case, the Friends of Roan Mountain, we're going to give them a little bit of money to upgrade and refurbish this facility, which is already being used, but in a very dilapidated state. And then from then on, they're going to maintain it. We couldn't do anything other than by working through these outside groups.
I understand that, but that you're talking about, they need to come and present us a budget like the other outside agencies do.
Well, technically, this board is the outside agency. So.
Well, not necessarily to the Friends of Roan Mountain. They have a whole different.
That may be the case, but.
It's been a real controversy. I've discussed this with Brad. We're neither outside nor inside. We're sort of unique. You're giving us money, and then we are investing it on behalf of the county, but we are working with volunteer groups. There's no question about that. And we have memorandums of understanding with these various groups. We're providing them basically capital expenditures, and they're providing the labor, and then they are operating the facilities. Or as in the case of the Herndon Birders, they're doing all the work on these publications that we've helped them with. No, they are not coming directly to the county commission. They are working through us. And my understanding is that that was the intent in originally setting up this board.
Whenever they come to you, Ken, do they come with you with proposals, or do they just come with you saying this is how much money we need?
No, they come to us with specific proposals. We consider them in detail. If it looks like something we would like to do, then indeed we go ahead and work with them. For example, one of the best examples I can give you is the Greenbridge Landing Park. It was primarily the Appalachian paddling enthusiasts that came to us and said we would like to work on this park. And we were then able to first of all, negotiate an MOU with them. And then we worked with the county school board to give us the land. That was originally part of the Hampton High School land. They gave us the land. Then we were able to work with the planning department. Chris, are you still there? Yeah. Okay, you can probably explain this in more detail than I can. We worked with the planning department. We worked with the highway department. We worked with the Appalachian paddling enthusiasts. We worked with Hampton High School kids. We worked with anybody who would work with us to get this park built. And as a result, we were able to build a nice park for about 1/10 of what it would have cost the county to contract it out.
Ken, let me ask you something. It's Willicamp, First District.
Yes, sir.
I noticed you keep mentioning Rome Mountain. I'm not saying anything bad. Rome Mountain, you're talking about town, you're talking about their areas. But I never see anything going in Stony Creek or Siam or Blue Springs or anywhere like that.
Yes, sir, and that's a real concern. We would very much like to build a pocket park in one of those communities. But the first thing that we require of any pocket park is that it have a group in the community sponsoring the park. If a group in Blue Springs, a church, a school, a community group of any sort is interested in doing that, we'd love to talk to them. We have money ready to go to work on these projects. The same for Stony Creek. The member up there has been trying for 3 years to find a piece of land and an organization to sponsor the park. So far, we've been unsuccessful in that. I've made the offer in the county commission meeting several times. All we are looking for is someone to work with, and we are eager to go to work. We are hoping within this next fiscal year to actually get started on a park in Fish Springs. It looks like a piece of land is going to be given to us up there, and to get a church involved as the sponsor group. But believe me, if we could find the place and we can find the community group to work with, we're ready to go anytime.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ken, we're about to get to the vote here. I think we have the first and second. Should be ready to go. Isaiah, if you call it over.
Motion by Aaron Frazier, second by Isaiah Grindstaff. Willie Campbell,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Yes.
Mark Tester, Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland, aye. Travis Hill, aye. Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Kelly Collins. Aye. 8 ayes.
Motion carries. Ken, thank you.
All right. Thank you all. We'll do the best with what we've got. Good night.
Have a good night, sir.
All right. We'll get back to our list on page 14 there, and that will bring us to fire prevention and control.
That's been approved.
Oh, is that outside agencies? That's good. We did increase the volunteer rescue from the fire department. Rescue squad as well. Now goes to EMA, emergency measures.
Page 50.
Yes, page 50 and 51.
50 and 51 with the request of 134,205. Smith is here. Keep your lights free. Oh, here.
Good night.
10 o'clock.
We'll get out here in an hour, I think. We work hard.
All right, this evening, I did want to come in every year at like committee time. I have asked to have Mr. Harold's plea corrected and raised to $30,000. This is based on the fact that the pay originally was allocated for a secretary. My predecessor wisely changed that to, at that time, an operations officer, and we found we didn't have a code for that in the finance system, so it was converted to the deputy director. Unfortunately, the pay was never increased to match that change in position and title. And several things that I want all the members of this committee to understand. The funding sources for our office actually come in not just from the Scrooge County Commission. We get an emergency management performance grant of $41,500 every year. The city then pays us to contract with them for EMA support, and that contract is $18,271. And additionally, they pay $4,900 for the county alerts, the Evergreen system. So that's $23,171. So half of our budget every year comes from outside of this commission. And also as a side note, I do not take county insurance. I have not taken it since I've been here. That is a huge savings. So I wanted to point those things out to you, and I also want to pass this around. This is a training record from the time that Mr. Harold has been in my office. Harold has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, a minor in emergency management. He's been from Fire Academy. He was a licensed paramedic and and a certified police officer with sheriff's department for over 8 years. That gives them very unique qualifications to work in emergency management. And it's someone that we definitely want to keep for future service. COVID-19 situation should have pointed out to everyone how important emergency management really is. While we have been fortunate, we've not been hit like New York has, but very well have been us. And then we would have been the ones dealing with that circumstance. So I think it's more than appropriate to correct that page. And I can soften the blow a little bit. I went through my budget again. We just negotiated a new phone system, our cell phone plan to the county. I also got quotes on some of the phones for the new EOC. And I think I can drop that down to about $5,500 for the 307 line item. Additionally, in the travel, we can drop that back to $1,500. And the fuel, we can also take down to $1,800 back to the previous balance. It's going to be fine. Matter of fact, we may be able to save a little money there in the coming years. Of course, I don't expect gas prices to stay quite where the rates might be, but I don't think they're going to take a huge jump either. Gas here, 1,800.
The communication of it's that. 50.
$1,600.
And what would we need to amend the deputy salary to?
Take it to 30,000.
Even?
Yeah, 30,000 even.
I like round numbers, thank you.
That'd be,
What's the difference there?
3647.
What's he making right now?
He, right now, makes 26,352.78.
It's line 106 on page 50, Will.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I just want to, I want to thank Gary's office and Billy for what they have already done for our office and the court system since we've been up and going. Gary has checked on me at least once a week for masks and gloves. He's come over, he's communicated with me, he's helped us tremendously. They really stepped up for us during this time with our office and the courts, and I know that we appreciate that. We appreciate Billy too. They're a needed service, and they're, you know, and looking at Billy's office training, it speaks for itself.
His spreadsheet.
I mean, it's.
I can say I put a call in a day for 200 masks and the employee really brought them over about an hour after I called.
Exactly what they did for us.
I'd like to make a comment if I could.
Is that Roger?
Roger. Gary and Billy has done a great job on our FEMA and our flood projects. They have put in all kinds of hours to get that done. And Gary can explain to you what all we've been going through with FEMA. It's been very difficult. And this morning I got an email that kind of tore me all to pieces, but I think we're dealing with that. And Gary jumped right on it. I think the way Billy's helping too with this problem we got with FEMA, I think that the committee should really consider this for Billy. That's just my opinion.
You want to take down your other expenditures, your non-payroll stuff. What was the total that you were taking out of that? $1,600. Okay.
It'd be a net of 2,503.
I was asked about the line item for the electricity, $3,600. That something.
Yeah, we're going to be going into our new emergency operations center, and we try to estimate as best we could the utility costs. Of course, it's a little bit of guesswork this year. Next year, we'll have a much better idea of all the utilities. There are several new expenses because of moving into the facility. well, they're training courses that he's been through, some are certification, some are just, general courses that required to take. So like I said, that's on top of the training that you have when you came into the office.
He has 58. 58, did I count right?
I can count, that sounds about right.
Well, that's actually not including fire training.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't include any of the certification training.
Being a certified officer, I'm sure I'm missing.
Well, that comes out to a cost of the county at $35 a pop if we give him the $2,000. And I think that's kind of worth it.
When you go to fire training,
Before I went to the police academy.
did you really? I didn't.
Yeah, I'm actually a certified firefighter one, been to the firefighter academy.
You ain't never worked for Trump, have you?
Not yet. He called me.
He can either confirm or not.
Like I said, I think that's important to point out to you, because very few people have all those qualifications. And what we're paying, I think, is vastly under. And we have posted the salary survey to be done by them, which will be corrected. It looks like that's going to be postponed for a while, and I just think it's right on the part of the county to keep taking things the same good. I think that's what we're doing.
And I want to stay in Carter County, because I live here.
How many years have you been doing this job, Billy?
I've been here for 6 years, and I was at the sheriff's department for almost 8 years. And before then, I worked at Washington County EMS for 9 years.
Okay, so basically whenever you started in 2014 is whenever you started putting notches on your bedpost.
That's the training he's done, just since he's been in my office.
What? Okay, when do you find time to work?
Well, that was before the 2016 floods came in, and we got swamped, but, I mean, we actually now, neither one of us have time to look up for so easy. We were so covered up.
Yeah, I believe it, dude. I totally believe it.
And I got the latest paper today for the COVID disaster that's coming up, for the federal application for that. I've worked with the paperwork on getting that, we just started that, that's gonna be another 2 years.
Okay, so you're wanting to, it would be an increase over the total.
Counting benefits would be 2,503.
Okay, and what's that change the bottom line to? Because it looks like they've got 8,600 in here, but that's 99% from them moving into a new building. And he's saving some money out of that. Now, I know a lot of this is being absorbed by the lowering of the rate of the TCRS this year, though. Like most of the reduction in total salaries and benefits.
And the new total would be 136,707.69.
I make a motion that we approve the budget at 136,707.69.
I'll say.
Okay, any discussion on that further?
I'd like to have just a little bit of discussion. I know you're asking for him to be that 30 for next correct? Okay. Everything we just discussed about Billy, all his accomplishments, all this time he's put in for the county, all this list. Of course, we're already discussing my incentives for certification. I would like to see that salary, and I know this is not time, but I would like to see that salary at 30.
Are you making that as a friendly amendment?
Would you accept my friendly amendment?
I would.
This type of individual represents our county in so many ways, and then this is what we need to keep this type of individual. And I appreciate that.
Well, you have to look at it. If we pay, let's say we paid him $100 for each one of these that he's picked up over the years, like probably should have, that's $5,800 because this alone would have been. And then the value that it adds into the county, especially helping Gary and everybody else, is.
They're both always available. They're running a tight ship, and I think that's the least we could do for him.
And that's another thing to bear in mind. We're basically on call 24/7. Something goes bad, if it's bad, we're both gonna be out.
Like I said, I'll accept it as a friendly amendment and taking it up to 32,000 with summary benefits included as well. We should have done this last year.
I'm watching a little more on it. Because we told Chris to cut his people from the rate they had, and I don't really have much problem on the first increase in rate. I think all the people deserve money. I can support the first one, I don't know about the second. You know, I nothing against Billy or the EMA office, I think they deserve it all, but we're telling some people to take out their raises, we're kind of making an exception.
I don't think.
Right, I mean,
Yeah, I don't think that we understand, I don't think Billy's a deputy director, the EMA, I mean, I think we've lost track, we've forgotten about him. Another individual that's kind of slid through the cracks this year. He's the deputy director of the EMA, that deserves some credit. I mean, it goes back to trying to keep our people, and we want to help all departments, and I want to so badly, but it's hard to overlook some of this right here. I mean,
Hey, Billy, what's ICS stand for?
It's a command system.
So you're a trainer for that.
Yes, I'm an instructor.
Do you hold classes for it?
Yeah, me and Gary have taught about 5 classes since we've been both instructors.
And has that just been for Carter County, Elizabeth, or has that been for Sullivan County, Washington County?
We for Washington County, if they request us to help them with teaching, we go, because they help us in other classes too. All Northeast Tennessee, we're one group. We have the county we work together incredibly well. We've got great relationships with Mr. Paul and Edward.
I just want to say one thing. When any big emergency happens, when it falls under the EMA, it all goes to emergency management. No matter where it's at, what country it is, what city it is, it goes under them. So they've got a lot on, and their paperwork is exceptional. That's all important when you do your paperwork. Having, each crawling out of body, their paperwork, I see it all the time. They bring in a lot of money. I think that's what Roger was trying to say.
And I think, you know, that these guys are in the background until like the pandemic comes around, and then it's, you know, where they at, we need them now. These times, you never know about it anymore.
That's the highway department, 8 years, they listen to me.
We're trying, Willie.
Can't hear you, Willie, that's the problem.
But I mean, if you just go down the list, Joplin tornado event, it's so tornado training, radiological, so nuclear and other nastier stuff. Hazmat ops.
That was actually, that's a certification.
Yeah. Kids. I mean, you got a lot of classes on here for kids too. Child protection for UTIA. There's another one I saw on here.
I don't think any of us could deny that if it was our own personal situation, our own personal family member, we probably would want these guys to help us out on something.
And one more thing, our office over the last 4 years, probably $30,000 training also. And all that money has went to the landfill, the highway department, the bus garage. And only about $2,000 that went to the EMA, that's just quick. You can ask Roger online. I'll put your in, the highway department, the bus garage, and the landfill.
And the county coroner.
Okay.
And corn.
And
Yeah, we took money out of our budget to give to the corn, you just quit.
Okay.
I agree, and I think it should be, but also to point out, Chris's guys are saving us money too with these, that we're not having to go and contract out or pay for somebody else to do these, because they're getting these certifications. That's bringing money.
I agree too on that. I agree that those people look at it, and that needs to
A
be
bit of money, actually, from that long budget, that long meeting.
the Billy, I mean, Gary's not gonna be here forever.
So I
No,
agree.
it's, but, got that somebody to go right back.
I'm
And
gonna
that's
say
something
that.
we never had. And, you know, just like the GIS guy, you know, got
thing right over here, just stuff them up, they stuff people up out of EMA. So, you know, I think that, and I don't think Bill would leave, but I don't think it, I think that's a good $4,000 investment. That's my 2 cents. I'll shut it. I appreciate it. But I don't have, I'm in my own. I'm just kidding. I appreciate it. Anyway, we've got 5 years fire to keep going.
All right, is anyone take vote to have, accept that amendment? You have to do that, Isaiah, so put the pressure on you now. I guess you could always withdraw your motion if you're comfortable with that. Or your second, not your motion.
You know, we fussed over talking people raises, fussed over giving people raises and taking them out, adding bonuses here, doing this, doing that. We have missed Billy for, feels like 8, to be honest.
Yeah, did you get to 3.5%?
Yeah.
Okay. And you gave him your 3.5%, didn't you?
Yeah.
So this is after him getting, yeah.
Say Willie or Billy?
Billy.
Billy.
Billy, I think they keep that 3% off yours. But, you know, I have issues not paying, and I have issues making a you know, $5,000 to $6,000 pay raise jump too. Yeah, I'll say it.
All right. Got a motion by Fraser, second by Mr. Grindstaff there. Ready on it, call the roll.
Brad, you have that new number, so I can write it down, please.
I know we sat around here more than what, a week or 2 ago. Don't come in here and ask for no raises, don't come in here and ask for no salaries. Don't come in here and ask for no increase, Chairman, you make a mistake. Out of the goodness of my heart, I go along with it.
Well, that's,
We can't talk out of both sides of our mouth.
Well, and I'm not one to spend money ever, but
I know,
it's
I
a,
know, I agree with you 100%, you will work.
if there's, and I would hazard to say this for anybody in the county, if you've got this kind of pedigree,
I agree with you.
and that goes for any of Chris's guys too, if they've got this kind of crazy pedigree, I would be willing to make it an exception. But, I mean, this is bad. I mean, he had to give him 3.5% of his raise to get him up to where he is now. And he has this.
Like I said, that's nothing compared to the prior.
all right.
Total,
Yes.
it's 138, 957, 69.
And that is my amended recommendation, or amended motion.
Willie Campbell, Patty Woodby,
Yes.
Mark Tester, Isaiah Grindstaff, Ross Garland, Travis Hill, Aaron Frazier, Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Sure. You snore over All right, let's go to read these animal control. Yeah.
Take a little break, about 2 minutes.
2-minute break.
Countdown. 2 minutes.
Do, 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 do.
I'll Step up to the mic there. You'll have to speak up. Wrong, 2 minutes, Brad.
What page are we on?
57, that's what, it's,
56, 57.
yes. All right. Okay, everybody good to go, back, all accounted for? We'll talk on rabies animal control. 56, 57. We got to speak to you the other night a little bit, Shannon, so, I don't know if you've come up with anything since then or what you've worked on, anything at all, but we did. The animal control officer, basically, we've already taken out and moved to the sheriff's department.
So Brian and I have, worked on a new budget, and I submitted a budget yesterday, I'm not sure if you got it out to everyone or not.
Dated the 13th? Is it the one dated the 13th?
Should be pretty accurate for what everybody's got, I think it's.
Mine says 11.
Mine shows all the animal control stuff removed, but.
If they don't, just. Okay, is everybody thinks they're on the right track there with the budget? On the one I have, page 56, the proposed 278,025.02. And then on the next page, 57, a total of 434,100.02.
The total that I submitted yesterday was 433,100.02.
433?
Say that again.
433,100.02.
What's $1,000?
What's your non-payroll hold?
155, 75.
Okay, there it is. Well, there's thousands in there somewhere.
And then 1,000 is from, the veterinary services from 52 to 51,000.
An overall total increase of 12,683.32.
It should be 10,050. Wait, you're right, 12,000, what did you say?
12,683.32.
That's correct.
That's with the employees that you're asking for.
No, that's not,
It's not payroll.
Oh, okay.
That's a total overall.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So that's just moving one part-time to full-time, correct?
correct.
Well, I'll make a motion, we approve.
All right, got a motion on the floor by Ms. Cosby here second.
By doing that, will that help the animal shelter out?
Tremendously.
I'll second that.
And there's a small chance, say small, that the city might be giving more than what they originally,
That was my question.
but that's, I mean, there's a small
In
chance.
this
of that.
budget here, can become, what, 125, is that what we said on that?
Yeah,
That's the lowest amount that we've heard, is 125, that we've heard of.
it's hard higher, but,
And they're still working on their budgets.
but again, that's, you know, they're also paying county taxes too, so. Make sure to throw that in.
I'm gonna give you a disclaimer.
You only get that 2,000.
I can tell you something. My husband texted me and said, I already have phone calls for when I get home,
Oh,
which I won't be answering until 30 minutes.
You got something like that?
Part-time employee to full-time employee. Additional part-time employee assistant,
no.
because your part-time employee, your part-time personnel went up 14,859. Yes.
So the only difference that we did last year, we moved some money around from our line items was different. We didn't have all the attendees, they was grouped together. So when we separated the money out, it came in different line items. Right now, we have 4 part-time employees and 4 full-time employees. And keep in mind that these guys are working 7 days a week and on holidays. Under normal operation, we're open 6 days a week. And through the whole COVID situation, we have went to appointments only, and our adoption rate has been tremendous.
So article on that, that some agencies have replenished their, I guess, what's in there. I know we're not for that purpose.
We've had other shelters and other refugees calling to see if we would have animals for them.
Good. The overtime pay, 4,000 increase on that, what was it?
So we've never had overtime pay. I was under the impression that all of our overtime went in comp time. So when my people are working on holidays, they don't get paid for it, they don't get comp time. So with the schedules that we have with their vacation time, they even feel guilty for even taking off to even take a day off. And with this pandemic, we're stretching it so thin that we're at bare minimum, just trying to get by for 7 days a week and keep everybody safe. And so I think it's fair to them if they're gonna work holidays, and I took 13 holidays by 1.5 cents, and that is 13 hours per holiday is how I wrote it down.
To get the 4, is what, right there?
Correct.
All right.
If they work a holiday, they get paid for the holiday, they get paid for that day of work.
Correct, but I took one works 8 hours and I put another 5 hours in for a full-time employee. Plus, if we have trustees, or if we don't, then I'm leaving my part-timers up there. If my part-timers volunteers to fill in for them, then we'll use part-time and we won't use full-time. But throughout, everybody wants a holiday off, everybody wants time off, with their family, so it's kind of hard when you're still there, no matter holidays or.
I mean, what's the point of having comp time if you can't take it off? So either way it goes, you're gonna pay them out, you pay them out now or pay them out at the end.
Look for the sheriff's office. I mean, that is, it's always the issue you run into, the sheriff's
You
office.
can't take off.
Everything else you can't take off, have to work, the jail is actually the worst, it's actually worse than the sheriff's office. Of course, under her administration, it's got a little better.
It's fine.
They were coming to, well, no, it was, they were coming to the full commission and requesting at the end of every year under Chris and even in the first little bit under Dexter, we need to pay out comp time, pay comp time now, because no one can take it, we're short. So you're absolutely correct.
I saw food supply, it's gone up, and I know Walmart, a couple places have not given like they did.
That's correct. So our donations, I guess you saw, I'm not sure what's changed, but the donation supply has went down, which has forced us to buy more food.
Shannon, one thing that I'm looking at here and seeing is we've got, in the past 2 years, we've got over $100,000 in increase, or almost $100,000 in increase in just operating non-payroll budget. Because the original 18-19 budget was 133,000. The original 2019-20 was 145, or I'm sorry, 338, and then 420, and now we're at 434.
So this is just due to the cost going up. We did add a new addition to the building, and that made our electricity go up. We've added a new heating system there as well. One thing that did come down is our propane. And it originally was in natural gas line, and we separated that out into a propane. But that has come down about $8,000 since we did the HVAC system.
So are we running both natural and propane?
No, the natural gas is there because we have talked with the city, and natural gas is cheaper for us. So if we can get the natural gas line in and buy the conversion kit, then we will save even more money on the propane. I left that money there to see if we can get that line put in, and then that line item will come down from propane from there. But it's a tremendous savings of $8,000 already.
Yeah.
Question about your veterinary services. I know you said you reduced that by 1,000, but I mean, your estimate 1920 is 52,087.
So it's hard for us to get a actual number right now because we have the three veterinary clinics that still have outstanding bills. We look for money to be turned back in on this one, but here's the problem that I expect. Because of 2 months of not spaying the neuters, they don't have the equipment to do spay the neuters now. They don't have the gloves, the gowns, and masks. So what we would have spent in this budget is going to kill us in our next budget. When July hits, if they open back up, it's going to be down packed with tons of space and neuters that we could not get in now.
Well, I'm gonna say to me, it almost makes sense to make that at $52,000.
And once we close them out at the end of every year, there's always money that goes back into that. Two of them, next fiscal, and see if we get them closed out month by month.
I do have one question,
Sure.
and it's probably not really directed toward you.
Sure.
Okay? When this was originally set up, from my understanding, it's supposed to be a joint agreement, mutual of joint thing between the city and the county. Okay? Then the city comes along and says, oh, we're going to run so much, right? $125,000, what they, right?
That's their portion that they are getting. That's correct.
Right. And the county is dictating with the tax. But, like Ms. Collins stated, that the city people, does pay county tax costs. And what is the ratio we have, like, city and versus county? Do you have any idea?
So I have asked the 911 to give those numbers for me because they literally have the addresses and they will have the number of officers dispatched. I don't have those numbers. 911 has those numbers. But I can tell you the last time that I am aware of the numbers, it was not even half. It was something like, I don't even think it was like 30% of city, but now the calls have increased substantially since those numbers, since I have ran those numbers. And the agreement you're talking about, I went back and I looked at that agreement. The agreement was signed in 2017, and there's not a percentage amount, there's not a dollar amount listed on the city and the county contract.
No, it says jointly funded.
I think it's reworded different on the 2000, you have the 17 one, signed 17. Before, they were given 150, and then there was a disagreement that they went down to 100,000, and the last 2 years they given 25,000, and this year they were going to go up to 150,000. It'd be before the pandemic. Now, I've not heard numbers since all this started.
Will you go and present to them?
Yes, we do, yes.
Question on your numbers. There's really, I guess, two numbers that we would look at. And it's the number of calls versus city county, but then the number of animals that are actually brought in. Because I know anybody that listens to the scanner knows that every time you make a call, that doesn't necessarily mean the animal control goes, a dog's taken or a cat's taken or anything's done. You know, that could be a barking dog call, but that's kind of how it works. So that would be the number of distinctions that I would like to see, is the number of county versus city animals. And I would say that it probably would be county more than city.
Oh, yes.
Just because of the size of the county versus the size of the city.
Correct.
But I would like to see those numbers, see the breakouts of those.
Sure, I'll be glad to get that.
Because that's also going to be handy next year when we start talking animal control with your budget.
Sure.
Of, you know, how you, operation wise, how you handle a barking dog.
Correct.
So.
I'll be glad to get it.
Is there any money left in this table, don't they, you know?
There is $2,000 left from the estate that was left over, from where we did the new dog run, and that was negotiated between Trademark and, some of the things that they actually was getting paid for that they didn't do, so they took that off their bill at the end of the bill. So there's actually $2,000, and it is in, line item 799.
Part that you build on, it come out of this money.
No, sir, that was, estate money only, and that was designated, we met several times with the estate people, and that is exactly what they wanted, and that's all that we could do. We couldn't say we want this done or that done, they told us what they wanted.
Did her sister come in here and say that $30,000 more left in the estate, that they weren't gonna give to you, the improvements was made?
That was it, that was beyond what was in the,
That's what I'm saying.
that wasn't the original estate money
No,
that he's talking about.
no, that's in the, we did not get all the estate money. She had
She's holding.
$1.2 million in estate money, and the shelter only got, I think, like $5,000 plus the van that she paid. But now she has helped out other agencies, she's helped out tremendous amounts of animals throughout Carter County, it's been spent well on animals. And that was her sister's wish.
I want to also point out that a whole lot of the materials that have been going to the shelter for these additions were funded through the Friends of the Animal Shelter. That's what it's called.
It is.
It's pretty, yeah. That the county did not have to pay for.
That's correct.
I mean,
Might want to actually put a chunk, of materials over that.
Right, but where they're making additions to the shelter, it's costing us additional in electricity and other things like that.
Mike has helped us like redo the fencing, he's had, repaired some of the kennels that was destroyed by aggressive dogs that was brought in. Those kennels can only take so much feed and banging on them. But he's been very good to give us materials just on emergencies that we need to fix things throughout.
We have a motion, Kelly, she brings a motion, who got a second?
Got a motion by Kelly Collins and second by, Mr. Fields to, $433,122.
22 rows. Okay. Sorry. You're good. That's fine. But yeah, no further discussion.
Willie Campbell,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Yes.
Martin Tester. No. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland, aye. Travis Hill, aye. Aaron Fraser,
No.
Kelly Collins.
yes.
All right, Shannon, appreciate you making a few extra cuts for us.
Thank you so much.
All right, Roger, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
All righty.
down to yours, I know you just had a couple things to just mention. I'm not sure you were looking to make changes, but,
I've not got any changes to the budget, but before I make a statement, it would be nice if you guys just look over the budget and vote on it or whatever, then I'll go into what I want to talk about. Because it does not have anything to do with the budget.
okay.
Page 82.
82?
Yeah.
So, yeah, jump down to 82, please. Yeah, balance budget, you know that.
I don't think he's about to.
Well,
Actually, it had one.
oh, did he?
Second.
Let's do that real fast.
All right, nice job.
Then take a break.
So you got a motion by Kelly Collins, second by Patty Woody on that. Any discussion there?
Thank you, Roger.
You're welcome. Cut it to the bone, to the very bone. But we have to match our revenue. Anybody has to match their revenue coming in, and that's, of course, we cut it because of the petroleum taxes.
Yeah.
Willie Campbell. Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Marty Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Starling. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. All
I've got potential for, as we spoke, some FEMA money coming in, possibly to offset some of these costs. The projects this past year that you worked on, right?
All right, Ross, you ready for me?
Come on, we're ready.
All right. I've been comfortable sitting here in my office watching you guys.
Sorry to keep you waiting, but it's.
No, that's no problem. What I want to talk about is the maybe the grant money. For the past year and a half or so, at least last two budgets, we've put so much money. The highway department put so much money in flood control and repair floods, and we've not done the we've not been able to asphalt and repair roads the way we wanted to and was the way we had it scheduled. And in this budget, the asphalt line and other line items and stone and even reduced our salt too. Of course, one reason we reduced our salt though is because we've had warm weather instead of cold weather. I would rather have the snow than I would the floods because we do so much damage repairing with the floods. But what this grant money is supposed to come in, which is a pretty large amount, the highway department could use it to pave roads. I think I've mentioned this to you before. I have some figures here that I've been looking at. Our county roads, there is quite several that it's a little wider than 16 foot, but I did some figures on a 12-foot road and a 16-foot road. Since we have the labor, fuel, and equipment already budgeted in our budget, so if we use the grant money just to buy asphalt by itself, currently we're paying $69 a ton for 411E mix, asphalt mix. Of course, if we had all the grant money, you're looking at over 13,000 tons of asphalt we can put on a roadway. But if a roadway was 12 foot wide and we put down our mix at 137 pounds per square yard, we could pave about 28.5 miles of roadway. And that's a cost of only because of just the material, that's a cost of only $33,000 a mile. If the roadway happened to be 16 foot wide, we could pave 21.5 miles of roadway with the same the poundage per square yard, 137, and that would yield $44,186 a mile. That averages out to about 25 miles with the money that may be available. We think this would be a good idea to use that money because the people in Carter County, the citizens, would actually see that work done. They would be driving on what has been done. It would actually go down blacktop on the roadways. This is one way you can benefit the citizens. I know that other departments might have uses for this money, but it's I believe with contact with citizens will actually see the work done, and they will be driving on it, and it will help for years to come with our roadways. The budget, even the normal budget with asphalt that we have, it would take years and years to pave what roads need to be done right now in Carter County, and this would give us a big boost. So any considerations that you can do to help the county roadways, none of this money will be used for the highway department per se, except for paving. We have the equipment, the pavers, the rollers, the trucks, and the personnel to do this work. And any consideration you can do, I'd greatly appreciate it. Next week, we're switching over. We finally got enough flood control and stuff done to where we can switch over operation to paving. But we're taking, what we're doing is not trying to spend the rest of the highways budget, because we're in a crunch with this fiscal year too. We're going to pave the workforce development, and we have 2 jobs for the schools. One is in Hampton, and one is at a small job doing actually a ball court for the school at Hunter Elementary. We have one county road that we're going to try to pave, because we've cut that road to death up here off of it's Stevens Road off of Rittertown Road. We've done quite a bit of flood control up there. We've tore down a building. The property owner gave us a permanent drainage easement. We built a retention area. We put in pipes, and we've actually left the pavement and stuff in a mess. And it's a short road, but we'll probably pave that too with this money. But other than that, we're going to try to hold on to our budget this year to hopefully we can come out with a pretty good without having to use much money out of our fund balance. But if you can consider this request, it would greatly be appreciated, and I think the citizens of Carter County would appreciate it. We're just going to put the highway department doing a whole lot more work on roadways if you can consider this for me. I appreciate anything you can do.
Roger, we know that money's going to have to really stretch out, because there's people wanting to get at it. But we understand the need and what you want to do with it. It would help our highways and roads around here. So we'll just have to kind of address that once it starts coming in, and see what we can do, see where it's the most needed, and kind of what projects may come up.
I realize that this money is not available to even be sent to TDOT till July, and to start setting up the project it can be spent on, I think, in July. And I do not realize that the full commission has to vote on it. But like I say, any consideration you can give the highway department to help out the citizens of Carter County. You're not helping out the highway department, but to help out the citizens of Carter County.
Hard work y'all do every day.
Roger, I'm sure you've got a list of the roads. Do you have them pretty well spread out all over the county, so all the districts are kind of equally, except probably for the city district?
Yeah, that's another thing I want to mention. Thank you for that. I want to input from all the commissioners, what roads, you guys talk to the citizens and stuff too, and I want to get input from the commissioners on which, in their districts, which roads they would prefer to be paved. Of course, we want roads to cracking up and got pothole patches in them. We don't want to pave a good road, but we've just any district, there's roads that needs paving, and we want to try to do that as equal as we can, and we want input from each commissioner.
Good question, this probably gonna be a good question. Sir, you can't touch roads inside the city limits, is that right?
Pardon, I didn't get that. What was that?
You can't touch roads inside the city limits?
No, I cannot. That's the city has to maintain them, except for the state routes in the city. Of course, TDOT maintains that, but no, they have to be out in the county.
Okay.
That's true.
I'm all over the county, so I'm always out and about, so I always watch the roads.
Yes.
All right, Roger.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Roger.
Pardon?
Yeah, from real, bro.
I'll hand it your way.
I see where new towns are paving roads with recycling materials. So anyway,
We got to hire another person in there. Okay, inspection and regulation.
What page?
We're back to 14, and on that page below EMA, that's what I got next on the list.
52.
Oh, I have it all.
That's what Gary and Billy take care of. It's OSHA.
Okay. So it's just a small budget, it looks like 4,177.
And they found money to cut.
That's, page 52.
Motion to approve.
Second. All right, motion by Fraser, second by Hill. Discussion there. It's all decreases in every line we got.
Second by Trump.
Yes. Fraser on the front.
Willie Campbell. Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Carries County Coroner, Medical Examiner. Budget request $20,759.
What's the jump on his communication line for?
He, actually that can come down some. He's been having hadn't been able to get a plan due to some reason. But anyway, we finally got him a plan, a couple of days ago. It's going to be lower cost. How much is that in there for?
800 or at 1550. It was an increase of $800.
Okay, should go down to 1,200, 1,100.
You're 10. You're 10.
I'll start off.
I'll give you a 9.
You're gonna do 2?
They're 5. So the maintenance and service repairs, I know he's got a new vehicle. You think we'll still need all that $450 for that? Probably so.
That's where the school changes everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's a vehicle, shouldn't they get that for the first year?
I don't know if it's.
I don't know if the state plan gives you that. And
Well, they ought to.
Okay.
why did he,
They ought to. It's a new vehicle.
why didn't he have anything in the vehicle and equipment insurance prior.
We just did the allocating thing too.
Do what?
We amended the budget 294 to charging in 1920. There's nothing in the original.
Ah, gotcha. Oh, there, gotcha.
There's a bunch of them line.
Make a motion to approve the budget of 20,387.
Second.
30870.
Is that right, Brad? Oh, 40.
Second, if we didn't get one. Oh, Mark got it.
Where's his supplies?
It's on there. It's drugs and medical supplies.
Okay, that's what okay, it's on that one line. I thought I seen zero on the one, I was like, whoa.
Drugs and medical supplies, or we getting the blood.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure,
I think we're 20,387, I believe that's accurate. If you go ahead, Mr. Rice.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
yes,
Mark Chester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Motion carries there. Other public safety, $4,001.
That's the civil service board.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
yes,
Mark Chester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
And the health department, local health center, 76562.
That's entirely funded with the grant.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion there.
Thirty-one votes.
Yeah.
We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
yes,
Mark Chester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
All right, so the next page 15, I think, from EMS, ambulance down to, I guess, agriculture extension, we need to vote on that. Is that what you see, Brad? I think we approved.
They need to do that, the 911 very close to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. So, what we got on there?
Page 58.
Services, welfare.
57, I believe.
Well, 58 is what's on the list. And
58.
there's two 58s.
We've got,
Yeah,
58 total ambulance EMS. Is that right? 213, 663? I mean, that's the one, it's just the one line on there, it doesn't show it.
Yeah. Depending on which 58 you've got, one of them looks kind of funky.
We don't know what the raise was.
No, there's no change.
10,000. Well, we
Well, I thought we did. But But I guess that's what he's got, EMS, that's the 911 account, that's right.
The 213,663?
And that's no increase from the original last year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, any discussion on that? Motion by Frazier, second by Ms. Woodby.
Willie Campbell. Patty Whitby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Carries that, I think that'll get us down to the agriculture extension service.
So we got one on page 58, there's another one, call for Mary Rose, next to the last line. Under other local welfare.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion there.
We recently just did a budget amendment, to increase that.
Yeah. Yep. That's being used more and more.
Willie Campbell. Patty Whitby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
All right, how about now, that gives the ag extension.
Hang on, back up.
Oh.
You got ETSU, policy. On page 60.
It's just $8. Here.
What was their budget last year, Brad?
It was 119,080.
And didn't we come in under their estimate this year?
No, it was the original budget's 113, but that wasn't the full amount. That's supposed to be, so 119.
No, I'm talking like the number of times that they've been called out. Aren't we under? Yeah.
I'm not sure, I know we were turning a little lower, but the contract we negotiated with them didn't include a max cap, so it's like, that's how much we pay, whether they do one or they do eight.
Like we talked about this at the last budget, correct? The contract was renegotiated.
Did you guys approve that Monday?
Basically, so we don't have a option.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, no, never mind then. Motion to approve.
Got a motion by Ms. Collins,
Second.
by
This time on that, we
Frazier.
don't have a choice.
That is 121,462.08.
Is it just that? Is that what we need to get?
But there's no cap on this one?
No.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Remember a couple of years ago, they kind of said it that it would be up to X number, and then we would pay more for each one over, they
Yeah.
took that clause out. That's all 8 counties left.
Okay. I'm okay with paying a little bit more if that's taken out, so.
Kelly and Frazier.
Willie Campbell. Patty Whitby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Now, Brad, I don't know what makes a difference on that sheet there, but it's gonna have honor guard getting 10,000. Doesn't make a
So
difference.
what?
On that same sheet, you said honor guard getting 10,000.
It should be fine.
Okay.
All right. anything like that, or can I just move on down?
You're good to go.
I really don't know. Ag extension services.
Agricultural and natural resources, agriculture, page 62.
Yes, extension service. Total proposed budget 123,537.
Is the wage increase mandated?
And we have to pay a share of what the state pays.
And so basically that top part, what it went up is not negotiable, okay. Utilities, did they get broken out into individual line items? Yeah, I see one for water and sewer, and I see one for natural gas.
No. Yes, it did. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
And then we'll, okay, gasoline on that one, Brad, we got a question mark on that. They have, okay.
That is when they take kids on field trips and competitions and stuff.
Then you go out to the county van.
All right.
That's in there, so that they rock back to the gas they get. It's a filling station.
Okay. Fair enough. Good motion by Mr. Whitby, who was the second there? Mr. Tester.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Whitby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Aye. Travis Hill. Aye. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
All right.
We like the form, so they just take us nothing on first.
All right. It's too bad. Okay, flood control?
There wasn't.
No increase, $1,950.
Motion to approve.
Second.
On what?
Flood control, page 63.
Motion by Fraser, second by Tester. No discussion.
Billy Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Whitby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Rewind and see
Fraser,
if it-
Fraser,
And a Tester second.
Okay, other agriculture and natural resources. You need a break?
Yeah.
He needs copies.
Need a copy?
Yeah. Can I make? I would appreciate
All right, yeah, take a quick break
Made
here.
fun of me when I said you were gonna do
Be
it.
sure. to-
What y'all got? Oh, I got no ball.
send it to me.
That-
I told him he had to send it to me for the
Yeah,
planning meeting.
I think-
Through the red line. Send it back to
well, I
me.
mean, if there is a backup plan.
Well, you know the feeling is, you kind of,
Yeah.
what's going on, through.
I told him it wasn't gonna fly, but I didn't listen to his comments.
You told him 3 times. Somebody better come.
I also told all the other board members or the commissioners they need to be in here in support of it if they thought it was gonna go.
Nobody. So you're still on there?
Well, yeah, but I mean.
Yeah.
I say you
Lost everybody.
Just
You lost
us.
the mayor.
Poor Abby. You know, you need a iron helmet.
Of course, at this point, it's probably over.
That way we can just call you Iron Man.
This is why you guys are Truth Monday. I worked 20 hours last week.
Thanks, state of Tennessee.
We get $50.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Thank you all.
All right, so thank you for the job you've been. Susie, where's she at? I saw her drive by.
Oh, keep driving.
I hope he didn't see me.
Bigger fish to fry.
Well, that's okay. I'll type my handwritten notes out very, very well. And then, just send them to along with
I'm
it.
just gonna send her this on YouTube after.
There you go. I mean, she'd probably do that. That's what she did last time.
Since you pulled that video, that said 5.5 hours.
Oh, we're not done yet. We're not done yet.
All right, let's get back to business. Other agriculture and natural resources.
That's the outside.
Oh, is it good? Check.
Tourism.
Tourism, that's really, that's chamber.
Do we have to approve
Hotel,
that?
motels.
Funding with hotel motel tax.
Do we, I guess we vote on that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion by Frazier, second by Collins. We did go down on that, Brad, is that what we had last year? That just from, I guess,
Just forecast lower
yeah, for,
income.
yeah. All right.
Willie Campbell. Patty Woodby.
Yeah.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Eric Gray. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
He's called me all day, because we got stuff.
Yeah. Well, he hit me after Monday night, I guess, and I've been in here for 5 hours on the way home.
He's asking for my cell phone number. Should I tell him?
Save yourself.
All right. How about, got no budget for housing and urban development? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
That's grand, I guess.
And the next one has the $20,000 for the local economic development.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And that's what we created last year, to put money in there, right? Okay, 20,000. A motion by Hill, second by Frazier. Isaiah.
Willie Campbell. Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. Be 8 ayes.
About that miscellaneous, that's, got veteran services. I'll check that off. Yeah, veteran services, they requested 43,922.
Motion to approve.
On
Second.
Motion by Frazier, second by Ms. Woodby, and that, of course, that does include the increase we thought we passed a couple months ago. For salary. Frazier, second by Woodby.
Willie Campbell. Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grunstaff. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. The 8 ayes.
All right, Brett, how about miscellaneous? Is that anything?
Yeah, that consists of trustee commissions, 239,200, and 51,000 liability insurance, and a couple of other small items.
That's on page 65, to be exact.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion Frazier, second Campbell. Discussion there.
What exactly is the trustees commission?
On certain revenues, he can take a percentage of the revenue.
Basically fund his office, kind of like the, we charge for accounting services, he's charging for taking in people's money.
Like, kind of like a clerk's fee with the commission.
Our office is the same way, we can do certain commissions, I think, on some of our stuff, yeah.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grunstaff. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Carries. Motion carries. Litter and trash collection.
That's entirely grant funded as well.
Litter grant.
Motion to approve.
Second. All right. Motion by Frazier, second by Tester. Total 50,800.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grunstaff. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
All right, does that get us, transfers out, is that, need that?
That's already approved in the
Yes.
funding.
All right, solid waste, we passed that, 69. 70, 71. Landfill. Health department. I guess we do need to pass this, don't we?
Yeah.
Highway 1, or health department, fund 117. 162. 169.
That's a transfer from the general fund that's required by the state. And those non-grant expenditures have to be accounted for separately.
Motion to approve.
Your second.
Second.
Motion by Frazier, second by Mr. Grunstaff. Discussion there.
Willie Campbell.
Patty
Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grunstaff. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
Motion carries. Page 78, drug control fund.
That's just funded with fines and forfeitures and sale of seized motor vehicles. Equipment.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'm gonna hear that all night long.
What's that?
Willie Campbell.
Motion by Hill, second by Frazier.
Willie Campbell.
Patty
Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grunstaff. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
All right, sports and recreation, we have funded that one. First hit, 75,000. One of the 8.
It's on page 92.
92. Yeah, just get the invoice. All right. General purpose school fund, 141. Budget, $42,296,613.
Motion to approve, and I'd like to say we're losing a lot of good teachers that are retiring,
Second.
that I don't want.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing it too, except I'm a couple, 1 year short, so.
Oh!
1 year?
What's that? I've heard like they offer 10,000 or 15.
It'll be at 15,000.
Total package, you think?
They got 5 anyway, then they offer them 5, and then they sweep the deal. Offer 5
They're
more.
going to end up, I mean, they're saving money
Yeah.
in the long run.
Well, I was just glad to see you didn't have to cut, the younger people out there, take jobs away. People were willing to do it. But,
They still have a few positions to come up with somehow to cut it. What was retirees or 23 or so?
It was like 27.
27.
It was 27. Because they said there was like four things that they were gonna have to try to figure out over the summer. Or the new superintendent was gonna have to figure out, so.
A couple of those are real specific, degree wise, I mean, you just can't put, anybody can apply, like some of them I couldn't apply for. So that's kind of moving people around, they might not work.
So, do you mean, I'm confused, there's still positions that they're still gonna have to cut?
Figured in the budget was 31 positions. We started at 34, and then there was found some savings.
Some of the other departments cut, didn't they, try to help or something?
I don't remember where the savings came from, but, it moved bucket down to 31. You have a balance their budget, of course, they did use 112,000. They had 112,000 balance the budget fund balance.
you said that was about 8.8 million they did before last time.
This is the first time they've had to do that on this fund in like 8 years, wasn't it?
Wow.
Since they've had to take money out of fund balance, the balance of other,
112.
had to take some last year.
No.
9,959.
Yeah, you're right, 9,959.
Okay. Collins was our first one, to this Travis.
Collins, motion, second by Hill. Willie Campbell. Patty Whitby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
122.
22 Central Cafeteria Fund. Total budget, $3,850,994.
What was that number again?
Where you at?
122.
140, I'm on 143. I mean, well, yeah, but the
Okay.
total expenditures appropriations, their budget, $3,850,944, right? Your motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion there?
So they're having to take 667,000 out of their fund balance to balance out this year?
Yeah, and I think what's going on there, I worked with Lindsay on a bit of the budget, and I highly recommended that she decrease the appropriations that I think they're overstating, overestimated. But she insisted on leaving it in.
What do you think they're running?
The money they're gonna bring in.
No, the appropriations. I think there's too much expenditures estimated compared to what it has been. And this program is designed to be self-supporting, as you can see at the bottom in the fund balance figures. It has an excessive fund balance, and Department of Education just requires 3 months average expenditures fund balance, which would be about $900,000.
Yeah, but they've taken $1 million out over the past 2 years.
Well, between last year, year before last, they had to upgrade their POS, all their POSs, they bought a bunch of cafeteria, a bunch of.
This being year before last.
That's pretty substantial.
Right.
That's a pretty substantial cost.
I mean, they went for years and didn't give their employees any raises. I mean, for years. That's how they built that fund balance. More raise. Now they started, paying the workers for, what they're doing.
All right, we have a motion on the floor for that one.
Motion by Grunstaff, second by Frazier.
Okay. More discussion or call the roll?
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes. I need to stand.
Yeah. Head Start Fund, 145. Budget request, 1,153,709.
Okay, this fund is, operates from funds from Upper East Tennessee Human Development Agency and the USDA for their food supplies. Fully funded.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Frazier, second
Oh,
by.
I'm not upset, how much was left?
That serves in there somewhere.
That's what's next, that's what I said. My husband just texted, you okay?
I thought you too. Are you okay?
Oh,
Still here.
Willie Campbell. Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Yes. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
All right, debt service. Budget request, 1,677,031. Motion to approve.
Second. Where we come in 200,000 less, I know we paid off some stuff last year, but we come in 200,000 less than 18-19. Is that from where we paid stuff off?
Yeah, paid off the loans last year, 1.8 million.
All right, further discussion?
Willie Campbell.
Patty
Woodby.
Yes.
Mark Tester. Isaiah Grindstaff, aye. Ross Garland. Travis Hill. Aaron Frazier. Kelly Collins. 8 ayes.
I believe that's it. We got everything, Brad? I think that's it.
I'll go with maybe the last page. promise I'll make it quick.
Is that 133?
133?
Yeah.
Love the packet, by the way, dude.
Of course, that just has, all our debt is bonds related to the jail. And, those hopefully will reach some savings and refinancing or refunding those. But at the bottom, it has the per capita debt. And at June 30, 2020, it's gonna be 288.38. And the financial policies for the county set a target date at $700 for the city of 1,000. So as you can see, the debt load is very reasonable, well below the target amount. That's all I have.
Yeah, that's good. 883. Pretty good. Board highest rating is great. That jail off of us.
Be AAA.
All right, well, anything, y'all got anything else to add or subtract? Appreciate everybody's patience again. I know these are long meetings and it's a tough job. But, I think grabbing his office and the work you guys have done, it's really, you got a sharp bunch here.
Sometime this week, can we get a, where we stand?
Yeah, that's what I.
A summary sheet like you gave us last year.
I can pretty much say that.
Less planning, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing we have.
This is no changes plan. It's, an excess of 293,483.
So basically, we're gonna have to take 293,000 out of the, oh, we're under.
We're on the other side.
Oh, we're in excess, right?
Excess.
Yeah.
Could you say that again? I don't think I understood that.
I was expecting us to have to take 300 grand out of.
293,483.
I would like to say something, with projected revenues first, I think it'd be a good idea to increase, put more in our cover in case this thing goes on and on.
Yeah, say it again.
Okay. Well, $293,000 for good, right?
Right.
Okay. You projected, I think, $350,000 total loss of revenue.
Right.
Would it be good to take that and put that toward that?
Decrease the revenue?
Yes.
Absolutely. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever.
And then if we come out for good, we're going, okay?
They can, if the revenues pick up steam pretty quickly, we can always, amend the budget upward.
Right.
Increase the revenue and budget that where you need.
Well, I think we'll end up with surprise, just like we do every year. Like last year, we had $400,000 in surprise with a recycling center. So keep it as conservative as we can and try to keep from having to do the dirty. So
I'm all for cutting the revenue by that amount.
293.
Business tax and local option sales tax.
Which would essentially just give us a balanced budget.
yeah, and I think having a balanced budget is a long shot. I really think that we'll end up having to dig in this year.
Throughout the year.
Yeah, throughout the year.
Yeah.
I think I'm not saying that you projected anything wrong. I'm just saying that it may turn out to be worse than the already conservative projections that you're giving us.
So much uncertainty, I mean.
Well,
Nobody don't know.
yeah, and I mean,
You have a good measure stick next month, when April's numbers come in.
yeah, and I really think that what happened was people just stopped taking their money to other places and took it to Walmart and Lowe's. I think that there was just a shift in where people spent money. I think people
Everybody
still,
ate, whether you went to sit down or went to the grocery store.
yeah, so,
When, if you will look, I'm paying attention, so, if you actually went to, Applebee's, or you went to Johnson City, and you went to Logan, courthouse or something like that, the, you know, the line to get there to get, pick up food was as long as short, however you measure that, as it would be to go to Chick-fil-A, or to go to Zaxby's, or to go, so you had a lot of people go to kind of more expensive restaurants than the normal fast food. We still had a lot of fast food employees.
They want drinks and no tip.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was absolutely wild.
Yeah, I haven't seen like a COVID surcharge or something, I saw it.
COVID surcharge.
It's on their receipts.
Oh, my Lord, that is hilarious.
And that said, they would be raising their prices due to the fact that they cannot, they're not getting a lot of their stuff, and they have to pay higher cost for it when they get it.
Who's this?
Well, Motos,
Legos, they are.
Motos,
Yeah.
Motos, and they already raised prices. They're saying that the meat is hard to get, it's not because there's. Well, that's right, it's not some, no one to take care of it.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, motion by Collins, second by Campbell. All in favor, say aye.
Ah,
Good time, really.
come on, guys, we should have held out for 15 more minutes, made it to flat 6.